understand that today we are talking about hustles and happiness,
Yes.
managing businesses and mental wellness. Let's do an introduction to that. What does that really mean?
Yes, so it's balancing, like it literally says, right? Trying to balance your mental health. Do you understand? While you're also trying to do some side hustles. So so we're generally grappling with the challenges of building a business and economic stability. With inflation, fluctuating exchange rates, and tight market conditions, many entrepreneurs feel the strain of, balancing growth and personal well-being. So we're looking to, gain and share insights on how to handle cash flow challenges, manage stress and avoid burnout, while scaling your businesses.
So is this mainly for entrepreneurs or is it also for people who do 9 to 5
Yes.
and every kind of Nigerian trying to make money at this time?
I think it's an all-rounder, but, it's just generally being able to balance your mental health, against the money chase, the rat race, So it applies to both sides of the fence, really, because, being an entrepreneur doesn't mean it's easier than juggling and some side hustle, because in my opinion, because the person doing the 9 to 5, do you understand, end of the month consistency when you're winging it, in the early days, really. So
All
it
right.
applies both ways.
All right, thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
I think in the corporate world, this is called work-life balance.
Exactly.
But then there's a new name for it, hustles and happiness.
Courtesy of us.
Hustles and happiness. The hustle, even when you're doing 9 to 5, it's a hustle.
Exactly.
Exactly.
It is exactly. So now let us talk about the hidden financial traps entrepreneurs fall in. There was a time they told us that your 9 to 5 will not keep you. You need to add something on the side, have multiple streams of income. Then you see people, they quit their jobs, they go into business and they don't know that running a business comes with its own stress and traps. So what are some of these hidden financial traps entrepreneurs fall into, especially in a volatile economy like Nigeria's?
Great question. And I think I would start by saying that a number of entrepreneurs who go out and start their businesses, they have great ideas. But the one thing they tend not to think through is, what's the structure of the business? How do you ensure that where you're going to, you already know what you're looking to, and putting those structures in place. But, the thing about it is that many entrepreneurs tend to find out they are the CEO, they are the chief marketing officer, they are the chief operating officer, they are the chief financial officer. When they get into the business, it's not just for you to have an idea and so on. And then before you know what's happening, some of the hidden traps is that someone will tell you, you need to hire a CFO, you need to hire a chief marketing officer. Meanwhile, the cash flow, the income stream
does not
cover that. So what do you do? The other thing that they tend to miss, in my own opinion, is many of them just look at the business like themselves rather than thinking about it and saying, okay, I am an employee of this business and I pay myself a salary. So any cash that comes in that day, at the end of the day, it's okay, it's 200K. Let me bank 150K, 50K. Let's use it and go and groove. So at the end of the month, instead of you to earn a salary of maybe like 3-4 million, you have spent 6 million every day grooving. So you are technically earning 6 million and you're not accounting for all that as you go on. So basically those are the things. So structure, you having to play the roles of so many people at the beginning, not earning a particular specific salary that you can say, okay, this is what it is, and then managing on that. And I think that's where the hustle and happiness comes in. You are hustling, but you also want to be happy because you're making so much money.
Exactly.
To even add to what you said, right? So when you're starting a business, I feel you need to ensure you avoid working alone. So you build a team around yourself and ensure that you get the right personnel, people that have the same ideology with you, that are going to run that race with the same inspiration, right? So you lot of people forget accounting, right? Their books, right? You don't necessarily need to be an accountant, but you can either outsource it, get an accounting friend, or whatever it is. You need to be, make sure you follow your books, right? Because it mixes a lot with, expenses that shouldn't be under that, that plate. So recurring expenses, transaction fees and office maintenance, those kind of things alone, can actually eat into your profit. So, I just feel, if you can get that on time, it somewhat reduces, the stress that comes with it. So.
Yes,
so when you talk about the accounting aspect, the banking aspect, I think you should be able to have a different account. That should be your, I think, number one priority. You should have a business account separate from your own personal account so that you'll be able to track the cash flow and, and all of that, the expenses running your business. So if you don't do that, it can now lead to, taking up loans just to, fit in to your whole thing.
Thank you so much, Tolu, for that. I'm going to pick this out of what you've said so far. Like Wade mentioned earlier, you taking the money that is meant for your business and spending it on your personal life is one of the reasons why small businesses don't grow. In fact, they die. And sometimes you can't blame them, guys. Maybe you spend your last 5K starting a business. I mean, you have to eat, right? We're talking about balance. You still have to eat the next day. You still have to, if you're a family man, your children need to go to school. So how do you balance this? I mean, if that is all, if the money you're using to run your business is all you have, you just took a big step in faith, how do you make this work? Yeah, set up an account, do all of this. But how then do you put body and soul together personally?
I feel, so it goes back to not working alone, right? So if you're committed to other people, then it somewhat keeps you grounded, right? As against when it's only you and it's easy for you to just go in there and deep, at your own convenience, right? So if when you're some people, you're not the only person that's, taken out of the pot, right? And you eventually, when your business grows, you're going to be paying people salaries. So as much as you are trying to eat, right? When you don't have enough money, you're paying people that, literally live on the means, the money, the salaries the business is giving them. So that will keep you grounded. So that the key point here is, is not working alone. I think that's very, very key. Should be the foundation, of your approach to
Let me just add to what Oge was saying. Remember what I said at the beginning. You have to build structures. You have to do so many people's work at the same time. When Oge says have a team, you have a lean team that has the same ideology. Yeah. But remember that you have to pay yourself a salary.
Yes.
It's really, really important because that way, what it does for you is that it helps you ensure that you maintain a status quo that doesn't go beyond your expenditure pattern. Yeah. And it's really, really important because what you tend to see, like you say I don't blow, make we go down, but it is important at the end of the day that you set those boundaries, because if I come and I work with you and I'm not the only one here, like Ogeba said, it's not the only one taken out of the pot. I know that at the end of the month you have to pay me a salary. Now I also need to understand that I need to pay myself a salary. And let's also remember, as the owner of the business, if you need to spend money that belongs to the business, take it out as a loan and plan for how you're going to pay it back. Because there's no need you taking the money. And then if you cannot pay it back as the business grows, you take it as, you can now convert it and say, okay, this loan, I convert it to shares. Because sometimes you use those monies, it could be business development that opened up new doors and so on and so forth. But you need to really understand that. And when you start a business, like Tolu said, open separate accounts. Remember that your personal account is different from your financial account. Aside from that, also, you also need to learn the basic information and knowledge about accounting and finance, which is what a lot of small new businesses fail to miss. Giver says you could outsource it, but at what point do you want to outsource it? Even if you outsource it and you don't know what those accountants are putting together for you, how do you outsource it? And that is really, those are critical points that you need to take back and tell yourself, I'm starting a business. This is my structure. And structure is really, really important. Structure doesn't mean that I have to fit everybody inside. Structure means that people who I start that business with, we grow into them because they're learning on a daily basis.
All of the things you've mentioned, they take a level of discipline. Because, some people move into that entrepreneurship life like I'm a boss now. I don't have to work for anybody. I now work for myself. So it's a little bit difficult to do all of those things. But I get what you have said today. Tolu, do you have any other thing to add to that before, we move on?
So I think cooperative societies, help you to manage your mental health and your businesses as well. When you know that you're in a cooperative society whereby you meet the needs, like you have financial needs and all of that, it will help you not to touch from your cash flow, do you understand, from your capital markets.
So you're talking about having other sources of meeting your personal immediate need so that you won't overly rely on your business. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, that's as well. So you have to learn other skills and, sell higher things. So you know what's like topping the market list, you know how you can convert that into more streams of income.
Interesting. Thank you very much for that. And we've already started to talk about how entrepreneurs can maintain mental health wellness without losing our focus. I think we should delve deeper into that. How can entrepreneurs maintain mental wellness? This looks like a whole lot. As I mentioned, it takes a lot of discipline. It can feel like you are doing a lot, especially in the early stage of your business. I mean, that urge to hold back. I want to buy this. I want to do this. This is why I'm even doing entrepreneurship. I can't even seem to pay myself as much as I need right now. How do you balance all of that?
You can
go. We all have our 15 minutes of madness like this. But you need to shut down. You can't be everywhere at the same time. You can't be everywhere every time. So you need to shut down. And for you to be able to balance that, like Ogeba rightly mentioned, you have to have people that you work with. You now have to start believing in people. You have to develop people. What tends to happen is many entrepreneurs just want to say, okay, what's happening here? What's happening there? What's happening here? Remember that, yes, in as much as I said that you have to be all the chiefs at the beginning, you have to start building people to become chiefs. Otherwise, what then happens is, after some time, they'll say, okay, this is what Oga wants. Okay, we'll just do it. But you need to build them and let them believe. People will make mistakes, and that's the reality, but you need to help them build, and then you develop them. Just before we came on here, I was telling Ogeba, we're talking about one of our colleagues, and I said, see how much you're resting now, because a year ago, he comes into the office in the morning, he's looking stressed because he's probably up till 2 a.m., 3 a.m., trying to juggle so many things. He's still juggling so many things. But now, he's maybe out of 10, he's dropped 5, and he's dropping more. But it doesn't mean that if they give him a call at 1 a.m. that there's an emergency, he's not going to get it done. And these are the things that we need to start to remember. In developing people, what you then do is say, okay, you know what? I read an article, I think it was a couple of years ago, about a great CFO. The great CFO, what he does is that when he comes to work in the morning, he makes his cup of coffee, he sits down, he reads the newspapers to know what, or he looks at the news to find out what's going on in the world, and then he calls for his what's it called, the books, so that he can ask the questions. And in 1 hour, he's turned back the questions, and then he's gone out for a meeting, in quote. He could go play squash or something, And that's the way. The reason why you can do that is because you built a system that would help you. And that is what entrepreneurs need to remember. Because at the end of the day, we all die. We all die in a die, like they say, but we all die. But when you leave a legacy and a system that there is succession for you and succession for those within the system, then it makes it easier for you to, tell yourself that I did go Bahamas for 1 month. I did go spend money.
Yeah, I want to switch it up, right? Because, it's always, like I always say it though, it's easier said than done. So what do you tell the average Nigerian now, right? That that is dealing with high power, what's the word? Expensive.
High cost of electricity.
Cost of electricity. Thank you. I'm thinking too much. Fuel. They just increased it to
NNPC has
25 naira.
Yeah. That's if you buy from NNPC. It's now 1,000. Yeah, they have joined the league of 1,000.
Exactly. So to even get it, if you finally have the money, is a problem. You're probably queuing. Your regular monthly expenditure remains the same, but you're spending times 3.
Yeah.
And you still have a business to do on the side.
Okay.
Amongst the high cost of food, feeding, everything is just off the scale, right?
Eat at home, learn how to cook.
So what do you now tell that guy now that, probably business is even slow, and there's a lot of pressure at home, right, for consistency and... What will you tell that guy now? And he's tempted to just go into his bank account now, the office account, and just blow some. What do you tell the guy?
Blow out some steam.
What do you tell?
Like I said, so as an entrepreneur, when you start to make money or cash starts to come in, you find out like if you are disciplined, then you continue to see how that cash you invest it into the business. There's a friend of mine who is also an entrepreneur, and he says something. Sometimes you need to do business development, and business development is an expenditure that you can't really account for because now I have to host my friends, and who knows, it just might give you a tip. So when you do that, but it's not, these days it's not that often, but it's called business development, and you look forward to it to see that in doing that, did you go out and what were the returns or some of the returns that came into you? Because I could just go, I never met a giver, and someone just introduced me, this guy in a better concept designer.
I thought you were going to say billionaire, though, but go on.
We get there. Say me, I know they find billions because billions, they too sleep well.
Amen.
You could just get comfort. Anyway, he's a concept designer, and that day I spent 200K, but the guy who I went out, or the guys who I went out that introduced me to a giver, I've gotten something from there. I get his contact, we talk. Who knows? It could open new doors or it could design new things for me. So specificity and what's the word? Understanding what you want to get out from just from going out. It's important that you go out. Some of the biggest businessmen I know, they work at night. I know one. He doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, but he goes to club Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah.
Okay. So he's
for business,
network or target audience, right?
Target or network, business. Oh, you don't know how many deals. You don't know how many deals they close out at Quillox. I know what I'm talking about. Anyway, but that's the reality of it. So in order not to burn out, take a step back. If you die now one person go spend the money.
So business,
take time out and spend some money.
For small business owners, I think you should try to utilize things and people. I'm sorry, use your siblings. Why are you giving them data and all of that? They are the Gen Zs, you understand? So they have more knowledge about technologies, about the digital space, So when you start as a small business owner, give your phones to your younger ones. So create content.
Bless you.
Create content, because if you don't create content, I won't give you airtime for your this thing, so all of that can help you start up well.
So my friend, she bakes, right? And it had always been her, right? Maybe a maid or somebody just assist her here and there, So the job started getting more. And her younger sister was staying with her. So then she just told her, come, you better come on. Oh yeah, hold this spoon here. Come and mix egg. Come and mix flour. Do you understand? And when the stress started, getting to her, her younger sister was literally there, to take off.
Before you know what's happening, she would call her friends.
Oh my goodness. So they are making a lot of money now. I mean, they got 12 cakes on order recently, 12 cakes. And
Yeah, even talking about my brother in Canada during COVID, because they like bread. 3 children in the house. I saw himself and his wife. Say when you both land now, because of the skills he learned while we were growing up, baking, he started baking. Now his son everybody who's doing birthday now, the boy, they bake the cake.
Oh, you see?
Everybody in the house, they don't buy bread anymore because even
they bake it now.
Before uncle,
yes, no.
buy the flour and bake it. And when you look at those things, it helps you manage. So if I can afford half a bag of flour, for instance, half a bag of sugar, I'm buying bulk. That day I buy it, I calculate it, like you said, when you plan, you calculate it, you buy it from the market inside the house. You know, so you go chop bread for at least 2-3 months.
Yeah, oh my God, you need bread now. In fact,
even the bread go tire you.
Might not like bread
after some time. They don't like bread.
Okay, but I would like to ask though, for small business owners, you know, OG mentioned that he's starting his own, food business.
Yes.
How do you expand? How do you expand?
Expansion will come. The business will tell for itself. I mean, you will know when you are capable of expanding, right? So, but generally, still at this stage, we are still working with our plan. Do you understand? We're still building the brand, right? And obviously, we've done the whole accounting. We signed our contracts. We branded the business and all that. So we're at this point. Our strategy is to provide our services in different locations at different times. So we don't even have our own spot right now at the moment. But expansion comes when the business is stable. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, let me also add to that. Expansion can be thrust upon you. And what happens? Like I said, I go out, like the day I go out and do business development. I know what I mean by business development. I go out to chill. And OG tells me, or we're talking, and I say, you know what? There's a series of happenings over the next 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
But they say you bake cake. I will require like 30 cakes. That's expansion thrust upon you. What do you do then? Like you said, yes, are you stable? So what you usually do is say, okay, for me to be able to do this, the guy has to. But the thing about it is that if you are disciplined, like Olalowa said, it takes a lot of discipline. If you are disciplined, what then happens is that the monies will come, you buy in bulk, you start to prepare for those things, and then the expansion comes. Because one of the biggest way that small businesses expand is by word of mouth. It's not the social media posts. And like you said, that word of mouth, and even when you put it on social media, that word of mouth comes from your siblings or your nephews, your nieces, your friends who are posting the birthday cake or the wedding cake that you baked or any other thing, and everybody is asking, so who is this? So it's really important that in as much as you're doing that business, you're also talking about it. When people ask you, what do, you don't just say, I dey hustle. You need to be specific about, I dey hustle, na cake I dey bake.
And you use every opportunity to market.
To market. So like I said, you are the chief marketing officer. You are the chief business. In that first few years, you are the chief of everything.
Everything.
Let's not forget to add eating healthy and exercising.
Yes.
I think we need to add that. Like, even if you don't have the time to go to the gym to be doing kind lifting and all that, right? You can take walks, eat healthy, try not to eat late, try not to stay up late, at least reduce it, right? I mean, we always say it's easier said than done, but if you don't start, you never know, right?
Let me just say something about that. Sometimes we underestimate how the result of some of these little things we do to our body, like the food we eat, when we sleep, when we wake up, when we shower. Yesterday something happened to me. I got home, I was very tired. I've been feeling that way since Sunday, and I was, in fact, as at yesterday, a part of my head, I mean my sockets, my eyeballs here, hurt so much, and I was like, what could this be? I was already thinking of getting drugs, seeing a doctor, only for me to take a shower. I swear, not more than 1 minute after I took that shower, that pain was gone.
You see?
I mean, sometimes like magic, we just need to change our lifestyle. Sometimes the solution could be taking a walk. It could just be,
literally
changing your lifestyle in a way that really helps.
So one other thing I should add to this is this. Let's be conscious, like Ogeba said, let's be conscious about our health. If you can't subscribe to an HMO, because you never know what could happen. And these are a number of things that you need to think about health-wise. Check your blood pressure. Even when you are young, you just think that, I'm still young, nothing, what do you call it? I be guy man. I be guy man. But check your blood pressure. Sometimes you do the exercise and make sure you rest. Take some hours out and just shut down completely.
It really counts because I play tennis, right? And there's one guy, as an old man, elderly man, let me say, 76. And this guy plays tennis like, as in the guy sending me left and right, and I'm sweating. And the guy said he had been playing for about 20 years. So imagine the consistency.
Exactly.
Do you understand? So the guy is very fit, tall, he's trim, and he's energetic. So the earlier the better you get, regardless of everything. Stay healthy, and definitely to help you focus, clear your head, to be able to balance and manage the two.
Interesting.
And one last thing, which when I said about structure, have people who you can bounce things off. So usually when as a small business, what I usually would say, and this has become part and parcel of what we say at Nairametrics, is get a few advisors that are experienced, that know about different markets, who you can sound things off. Because some of them will just tell you, bro, don't even go there. Just go and sleep.
You need mentors.
Yeah.
Mentors.
Advisors will act for you as mentors.
Yeah.
Because you say, and it should be, I know this business. Sometimes you know the business, but you don't have the experience about the economy and the systems and how they work. And they will tell you where to go, what the niche areas could be, and so on and so forth. So as you are in an entrepreneur, it could be your friend, it could be your former boss, and so on. Yeah. But you just need someone that you can speak to just share your anguish, who understands what is going on.
Thank you very much, Wade. Thank you very, very much, Tolu. And thank you very much, Ogivas, for your time on Everyday Money Matters on Lagos Talks 91.3. I mean, we have a message here. Let me quickly squeeze that in. Someone says, it's not that easy as it seems. So in Nigeria of today, how do you make money that will help you for upkeep for your family and business, where everything is so high? Businesses are not flowing as it used to be. It's not that easy to set aside business account from personal account. We just have to. We've addressed that, and it takes a lot of discipline. And you see, for me, as we wrap this up, it's really when you're just starting a business, there's always that urge to I have arrived. Now I can now do this thing that I couldn't do before when I was earning this. That the first few years of your business, you may still need to rely on maybe your parents, the social support that you have.
I totally agree.
You are not there yet where you cannot put all your needs on your business. You may not have gotten there yet until that business balances, as we have mentioned today. So sometimes you're not as Miss Independent as you think you are now, because you are now an entrepreneur or Mr. Independent. You need to take it easy and let that business balance before you go into all of that.
So one last thing that just came to me. There is no self-made person.